Hi guys, good morning. So, well, what can I say? So it's been tough. It's been really dire. It's been fucking like wading through a sewer here, isn't it? For the soul travelers, you know, for the true souls. I hate this so much that I sit down and do a video and I know exactly what has been going on, as in I understand it on a real level, but for myself at any rate, maybe not for anyone else, but certainly for myself, and at the end of the day that's all I can ever really talk about. But I sit down and it just starts getting difficult straight away. And I understand now why that is as well, because it is clear to me now, more than, well, ever before, that the forces of darkness really just, they don't want to go, they don't want to be booted out, they don't want to be defeated, even though they already kind of have been, I feel. It's interesting because a fellow YouTuber and subscriber to my channel uploaded a video. The channel's called Red Herring Media. Go and check it out, guys, because it's actually a really good, funky, creative little channel. I like it a lot. And I think go over there, Red Herring Media, and give him some love and some thumbs up, because it really is good. But pay a special attention to his last upload. It shows a guy called Alan Dershowitz. Now he's a lawyer who was involved in a case to do with a guy called Klaus von Bülow. He's this Danish aristocrat who I think murdered his wife, and Alan Dershowitz got him off. But there's a film about it called Reversal of Fortune. It's a good film. You might want to watch it at some point. From a research point of view, it's actually quite a good film. But anyway, go and watch that little video of Red Herring Media, and at the 1 minute 44 second point, look at the face of that guy, Alan Dershowitz, and you will see what I'm talking about. Evil. Yeah. Now, you know how I feel about it, right? You know that I feel that consciousness creates reality, and that our pineal gland, or some part of us, which in and of itself, of course, is a projection of consciousness. It's all very weird. It's not really something the left brain can understand, and I try and do the best I can to verbalize it, or to conceptualize it, but in and of itself, by doing so, you kind of limit it. It's really frustrating. But we're in a cinema, and you're sitting in a chair and you're projecting the film onto the screen, but you are in a spell. You're spellbound. And so you believe the film to be real, and it traumatizes the fuck out of you. It's a horror movie, and it's full of these horrific demonic entities that are doing terrible, horrific, unspeakable things, right? And that have everything and everyone in their thrall. And we are spellbound here, people. We are. We're held in thrall by that which our consciousness projects, and our consciousness projects that which is diseased, dysfunctional, broken, inverted. You see, because of the component I call the hell contagion. I don't know if any of you remember a movie called Tron, T-R-O-N. It was in the 80s. A friend of mine mentioned it the other day, and it was incredibly poignant. It came at just the right moment. It's where they don the helmet and they go into the game, and the game is called Tron, and they're messing around on these circuit boards. Now, if you think about it, right, you look at the way we live, we all exist, we live for the most part, apart from people that live out in the middle of nowhere in nature, we live on a circuit board. That's what we live on. you see, and we are kept in a type of simulation type reality. We've been lied to about absolutely everything, right? Nuclear weapons, for example, they don't exist, and we don't live on a globe. No, Looms, no. Come here. No, it's not time for breakfast yet, son. Oh, God. Sorry, guys, but you know, this is the morning for me here, and it's always like this. Same old every day, which... Isn't that just life for you? Same old shit every motherfucking day. Oh man. What is happening right now, and I'm sorry guys, I'm all over the place, but that's how I feel. I feel literally all over the place. I've literally been in the darkest of the dark of my own psyche, soul retrieval wise. And what you find there is what I call the conundrum. I call it the conundrum because it's this... Let's say that you're this really powerful, magical, incredible being, right? Imagine that whichever way you like. And you exist in a state of infinite, unconditional love and creativity. Incredibleness, right? But for some reason you decide to spice it up a little bit or whatever, and to allow yourself to do something to yourself whereby a part of your consciousness, the black part of the yin and yang symbol, say, goes click out of alignment a little bit, so that it becomes dysfunctional, so that rather than it being the yin and yang whole, it goes into a kind of illusion whereby it thinks that the white, which many would like to refer to as, say, the sacred feminine, the great mother, the true self, call it whatever you like, this is just concepts, you know, but the black part there goes out of alignment, like click. Some call it the fall, and starts to imagine that the white is the enemy, that the white has abandoned, rejected, found guilty, and is punishing the black part. It's like a child lost in the forest all of a sudden. And from that, the fall, the out of alignment click, comes all kinds of nightmarish fucking experiences, right? That is consciousness, the yin and yang. It functioned perfectly as a whole. That which we now call evil, well, when it is in alignment, is like the fuel, the fire, the fuel, the concepts, the ideas that are infinite and ongoing, ever unfolding, is the white part. The fuel to bring it into existence, as it were, is the black part. When they are together, the yin and yang, in their essence, then all is well. All is in a perpetual state of perfection and grace. But for some reason we decided to spice things up a little bit. Hey, what would it be like if it wasn't like that? What would it be like to experience duality? But of course duality became limitation, and limitation became brutal, violent, evil, deprivation. It's just gone completely whoa. So when we decided, like in Tron, to enter the game, the circuit boards, the entire nightmarish scenario, we would have had a fail-safe mechanism, you see, because you wouldn't be stupid enough to go into it knowing that, ooh, we might get lost there forever, right? We might get lost forever. The fail-safe mechanism, I would say, is the maverick effect. I've seen it at work, I see it work even now, I see how it works. But what is happening at the moment with the conundrum... Looms. No, come here. Oh, come here. No, it's okay, it's alright. Oh, he's very old, you see. He's 21, he gets a bit confused. Say hello. Hello, baby. The conundrum is this, guys. So, you go from existing as an infinitely powerful, infinitely creative, infinitely loving being, and you fall into this, click, there is, that is how the hell contagion was born. That is how the rift in your own psyche was born. That is how you hate yourself, because ultimately the dark part hates the light. Your shadow, trauma self, your distortion self hates your true self, because it perceives there to have been a terrible betrayal. It's like, well, I'm in hell. I'm in hell. Why am I in hell? I'm being punished. The light did this to me. I have been betrayed. I have been stabbed in the back. And there is all this hate and all this rage and all this type of, and fear, terrible fear as well, because what have we experienced here? You know, we don't have safety, we don't have security, we don't have health, we don't have mental health, we don't have creativity. Well, we do have those things. We have a semblance of those things here and there, but increasingly, because the dark reset is still ongoing. The fall doesn't just happen in one foul swoop. It happens by degrees, more and more, lower and lower, etc., etc. And it's still ongoing. I call it the dark reset. If you look around you now and you see the world, you know it's a downside darker than it was even 6 months ago. It's ongoing still, because it is the only way for some reason. And I don't have all the answers either. But our eyes are opening more and more and more. We are seeing more and more and more. Our consciousness is expanding. The Maverick effect is working its magic. But the conundrum is the dark part of the yin and yang symbol, the trauma self, which is really just it's our self. It is a part of our true self, our essence, our soul, call it whatever you like, that is lost in the darkness. And going within, shadow work, soul retrieval, is what that is about, getting it back bit by bit by bit by bit. And every time you go through one of those cycles, you do a purge as well. Right? Because there are things there like etheric implants that are being used against us. There is mind control technology on the astral planes that is being used. There's all kinds of shit going on in this world, and all of that has to be neutralized, alchemized, healed, and brought back into alignment. And the more that happens, the more your true self unfolds within you again, reasserts itself again, and your consciousness grows wider. Yes, I get it, more and more and more. But yes, the conundrum is it's a problem. It's where you hit that really hardcore, dark, hateful, fear-based resistance that, no, I am not going to trust my true self. No, I'm not going to go into the light. No, I want to stay with the self-hate, and I want to stay with the rage. I want to stay with the fear, because that's all I've known, and I've been in hell, and terrible things have been done to me. And why would that have happened? That doesn't even make any sense. No, my true self has done that to me. The Great Mother has done that to me. I'm a victim. I'm powerless. I hate all of this. And then, and you see this play out. You see this play out. Say, I was watching a bit of Game of Thrones, and it was like that. It's all about vengeance. You did this to me, and I'm going to do that to you. If you clearly look at the world around you, you see what the hell contagion is. You also know what it is within you if you pay attention and if you do your inner work. And you know what the dark generator is? It's that constant dark broadcast. It wants us to stay in the dark, because that is where it has the power. The consciousness virus has the power. It has a mind of its own. It couldn't have been any other way, really. If you want to play this duality game, this deprivation game, you need to have an enemy. So we created one. We've forgotten we created the enemy. The enemy is a foul, demonic thing. We know this. We pay attention to its minions and to its works upon this plane, and we know that it is demonic beyond description and beyond words. There is no doubt about it. It's pure fucking evil. Like I said, Red Herring Media's last offering. Look at it. And pay close attention, and you see it being exposed. It exposes itself now. It exposes itself. And every time you go through a detox or a soul retrieval or a purge or whatever you want to call it, you will meet it within you. But now, because of all that, there's a lot of external symptoms, like Black Moon Lilith generally pipes up a lot, or that sort of thing, and it's all about the darkest of the dark. It's like, I'm not going into the light, I'm going to stay in the darkness, I'm going to stay in hell, because I don't trust heaven, I don't trust the light. It's a trap. It's a trap, it's a trap, it's a trap. If I surrender and let go and start to really love myself and start to trust that somehow, despite everything that is happening and despite everything that is happening right now, that somehow this is going to work out, that the power of love will triumph. Well, if I trust that, and then it turns out that that's all a dirty, sadistic lie, I wouldn't be able to cope with that. That would destroy me completely. So I'd rather just stay in hell, because, you know, you get what I'm saying. That is a conundrum. You know, that's a sort of quincunx. And that type of resistance can only be overcome gradually, bit by bit, and with a great deal of patience and a great deal of persistence and a great deal of love. And our true self is here, facilitating. If you pay close attention, you know it is, you can feel it. But the problem is that when you're in it, in this type of detox, you know, it is very much like homotoxicology, where you take a remedy of the poison you want to expel from your system. So something generally happens. So I don't know for how many of you something recently has happened that has been traumatic in a particular type of way. There are certain events, certain people, certain events, certain things that might happen that are keys to the darkest parts of us. That really go into the very darkest, most hateful, self-hating, fear-based resistance within us, and bring up exactly that logistically, right? I would say that for a lot of soul travelers, something like that will have happened in the last week at least, or the last 2 weeks. And boom! And the horrendous depression, the insomnia, the anxiety, the hate, the rage, the fear, all of it's all there. But it's thicker and denser and darker than anything you've experienced before. Agony. And when that happens, you don't really feel your true self. And forget about a sense of comfort, or a sense of rest, and a sense of you know, safety or anything, because you don't feel it, because you're in that part of you that is acutely traumatized. I mean, it's way beyond trauma. I mean, it's acutely MK Ultra'd, and it sees your true self, the Great Mother, as the ultimate enemy. It thinks that your true self and the Great Mother have put it in hell and are punishing and torturing it every day. And it's also very, like I said, it's very perverse. It wants to believe itself to be a victim. It's you know it when you feel it. I don't need to put it into words, because you will know it when you feel it. You know what it is. You know, you've done the work, so you know what I'm talking about, right? So there is no other way but to bear with it, because this is what I call a Herxheimer reaction. This is a great detox. This is very deep and it's very big. And the Omega symbol is popping up again in my field. So it tells me that this is, you know, the one to end it all in a way. This is going to be one of these defining moments in our quest, I feel. And I could be wrong. you know, but I feel it to be the case, because it's like, hey, we've done the work over and over and over again. We have endured unspeakable brutality and violence and abuse and manipulation here. It's unspeakable. This is another thing that happens, by the way, that every time you go through one of these levels, like what we're going through now, every time that happens, you also become more aware, your consciousness expands, and you get it even more. This realm, what this is, what's being done here. And one thing that has come... No, Looms, please. No, son. One thing that has come to me very, very clearly is that we are being mocked here on a daily basis. It likes to taunt us and mock us. You try, for example, right, you try to call your GP, your doctor, or your dentist, or you try to, somebody's fucked you over on eBay or Amazon or whatever, you try and get through to somebody, speak to somebody, get something sorted out. This isn't just in the few instances that I've just mentioned. This happens with just about anything and everything that you try, come on now, Looms, that you try and do, right? I mean, I myself am at that point where we're literally brought to that point where, you know, there are no words for it. You're being tortured and tortured and tortured and tortured in every imaginable way now in this world. Literally, the whole COVID thing is pure torture. The cold trees that you get into, only to speak to somebody in the Philippines or India that hasn't got a fucking clue what you're saying, are very fucking rude because they themselves are being tortured and tortured and tortured. You get what I'm saying? The system is a brutal monstrosity, and it taunts us and it mocks us and it abuses us and it tortures us in every imaginable way. But there's something about it that tells me that the reason it is that way is because it hates us. Oh my God. And it is a kind of hatred that is born from envy. I could be wrong, but that is what I feel. It's as if it's this giant monster that's looming over us, filled with glee, because that beautiful, radiant, powerful angel of light, that is everything, the monstrosity, will never ever be, because it is dark and distorted and rotten. Sorry guys, I'm really sorry about this. Do you see what I mean? Even that now is beginning to, you know, because there's so many other things happening, layer after layer after layer, that literally I feel like I'm being, yeah, and it's fucking, oh, the hate and the rage that comes up from within me is terrifying. You've got to be so careful with it, because it's very easy to take it out on people and to take it out on your animals or anything at all, and it's hard as heck. I have my ways of purging it out. Do not repress it, guys. Whatever you do, you have every reason to feel that. It's there for a reason. You're not wrong or bad for feeling that way, okay? You've been severely abused here. It has to be seen, it has to be understood, it has to be felt, expressed, let out. It hates us because, and again, it's an external symptom or a manifestation of the yin and the yang. The black dysfunctional part is full of hate. It manifests on the external plane the demonic evil that we see, and it is that way. It's this hate. It's you know, seriously, if you just watch that little video by Red Herring Media and you watch the eyes of Alan Dershowitz, 1 minute 44 seconds round about that point, and it's like, oh boy, the hatred is it's demonic. It hates us because we are shining beings, guys. And it's important for us to remember that right now. Because when you realize what is going on, that it hates us because we are shining angels, shining beings, and that is why it hates us. It hates us because it wants to be us, but it never can be, if you catch my drift. And that is why it taunts us, and that is why it mocks us, and that is why it loves to see us writhe in agony. It gets off on that. That is the feeding thing. You see, that is the inversion. I want to be that way, but I never can be because I am this broken, black, disgusting thing, and you are the great, big, shining angel, and I hate you for it, but haha, our roles have been reversed, and I am at the top now, so I get to torture you and torment you and taunt you and mock you and treat you like absolute shit. And that makes me feel better, only it's never enough because I never become the shining angel. I am forever the broken, dirty, distorted black thing. See, another conundrum here. The only way... Oh, and yeah, this is important to remember therefore, guys, that when we're dealing with anything on the external plane, evil, right? And no doubt, like I said, for some of us, shit has happened in the last week, or last 2 weeks, that has shown us very clearly the face of evil. And we are seeing it more and more and more and more as well. With this whole, you know, fake pandemic thing. We're seeing exactly how evil and demonic it is. And it's gotten very, very dark in the world. No doubt about that. But the reason for that is because evil sees us. It knows. It knows who we really are. We are sitting here feeling like we're small and powerless. What's the word I was going to use? You know, like we're pieces of garbage. Because that is how this part of us, this heavily resistant part of us feels. It feels like that. Very much so. And it wants to stay with that, very much so. Because it's like, well, there's nothing else, there is no light. Very perverse. No, there is no light, there is no light. And there is light, but... So we're in it right now, guys. We're really in it. I'm sorry, I'm rambling on. It's very hard because I feel it myself very, very much. And it's unbearable. It truly is. I mean, oh. But we are radiant, magical beings of light. I had a memory from when I was a small child, and I remembered what kind of child I was, and people were really drawn to me. It was like I have photos of myself as a small child, and wow. All soul travelers would have been incredible children that people were drawn to. We would have been almost shining out light. And of course, as life happened to us and the trauma became more and more compounded, that light became more and more like that, you see. Soul travelers are treated particularly badly because of our powerful light. We are beings of light, and that is why it is this way for us, guys. And I'm sorry that we've had to suffer so very, very much. It's appalling. But that is what this is all about. And even though it feels like a million hells compounded, I know, even though this is meaningful, we will get through this. The only way through this is love. Even when you're in the middle of it and you really cannot see past it or feel past it. So it's a terrible place to be in, I know. But if you tune in, the way to get through it is you get that sense, albeit small, often enough and vague, but it is there. It's your true self. It has your back. It is there. It is behind you and around you, and it's there. It has your back. It is the facilitator. Its doors are open. You're coming home to yourself. The coming home. The reunification. It's like the tarot card, the Lovers, which is very much misunderstood. The tarot cards are very esoteric, and we must really look past the obvious explanations. It's a far deeper, far more beautiful, meaningful thing. the reunification, the black dysfunctional part of the yin and yang is slowly but surely turning around and becoming whole again with the white. Love is the only way that's going to do it. So tune in, listen to your true self, the great mother. Feel it folding its wings around you and holding you through this, bit by bit by bit. And I know it's tough because here are all the negative thoughts, the terrible fear of we're not going to make it, evil John, we're fucked, we're screwed, and everything, all the other, this dreadful hard going, I know. But we will navigate through this successfully. It is meaningful, guys, and it is going to be okay. I do feel that. But it's incredibly hard, and it is truly like all the putrid demons from hell have been unleashed and are allowed to torture us into oblivion. It feels that way, doesn't it? I mean, when you've barely had any sleep and your cat starts meowing, meow, meow, meow at 4 o'clock. I mean, you want to get out of bed and, you do. And then you feel really guilty and it's like, see, you're a bad person. And it's like, no. You reach the end of yourself and then you're in the lands of something else altogether where you know that you are something very fucking special indeed, because anybody else would either end up in a catatonic state in a mental asylum, go on a fucking mad killing spree with an AK-47 or a fucking samurai sword or two, or would have the presence of the true self there saying, you can do this. Find a place where you can scream, get a stick and fucking do whatever you need to do and know that I am with you. Because it's just like that verse in the Bible, and I'm not a Christian, and I know the Bible is a book that has been twisted out of any recognition, but for even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil, for thou art with me. My true self is with me. And there is another little bit of info that came to me the other day, and it is from the Gospel of St. Thomas, the Gnostic Gospels, and it said this: when the two become one, you will say to the mountain, move, and it will move. When the two become one again, you see, our true power will be available to us again. Our magic will be available to us again, guys. Because you see, everything comes from within. Most people, NPCs, whatever they are, walk through life expecting things to happen to them. They are forever in a state of inversion. Hollow, empty, bottomless pits. I need this, I need that. And we have been habituated to that state of being. But it's not that way. We are everything already. And we've been living a delusion. But that delusion is very persistent seeming. The trauma makes it so. The mind control makes it so. And so gradually, bit by bit, we have been coming back into alignment. And this shows by the expansion of our consciousness, our gnosis, our experience of the maverick effect. But right now we're sat there sitting, saying to ourselves, well, yeah, that might be the case, but what about my health? What about my finances? What about the world around me? Everything is fucked. It's fucked. It's fucked. So it hasn't delivered. It hasn't given me anything. It would say that. See, again, the conundrum. The thing is, guys, that it comes from within. You cannot enter heaven with the consciousness of hell. So the consciousness of hell has to be healed. And that is what is happening right now. That is what this is all about. And it is heavy duty resistance here. And that is meaningful. That's why it's manifesting externally. as a shitload of really nasty motherfucking evil, demonic fucking shit. That's why it's manifesting often enough in our bodies, in our health as well, because that is what the hell contagion is. It is disease, it is poverty, it is abuse, it is persecution, it is all of that. It's like we've had no safety, we've had no recourse, we've had nothing here. Fuck. We've been operating on nothing. You know, and that has to shift. That hell contagion has to be alchemized. These etheric implants, these metallic looking implants that are literally keeping us trapped like that viciously, have to be dissolved. It's all happening, guys, in a big, big way. So do not give up. Do not give in. And continue to just tune in and allow yourself as much as you can to be receptive to the ministrations of your true self, of the Great Mother, and know that this shall pass. When the two become one, you shall speak to the mountain, move, and it shall move. You see? So, and I'm doing this video as much for myself as I'm doing it for everyone else, because believe me guys, I too am on my knees here begging for mercy. It's been an absolute nightmare. So, all my love to all of you, you know, and hang in there, and know that all of this is happening because we are beautiful, radiant angels. And that truth will it will set us free, guys. All my love to all of you.